Running the sanctuary absolutely brings me peace. The work is 100% cathartic for me. I find myself getting tied up in it and being busy, and then it's really nice just to sit, breathe in life, and it's beyond zen.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Hello, a very pleasant good day, and welcome to the Henderson Metal Fall Classic presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. We're here at the YNCU Curling Center in Sault Ste. Marie. Featuring this game here between Brad Gushue and Yusuke Morozumi. I'm Dave Schmel, and I'm happy to be joined by Jim Nix, and we're looking forward to a good game today. Trying to work on getting all of our visuals lined up here and ready to roll. We have had some technical difficulties in terms of our internet connections that allow us to provide you these streams, but we'll get you up and running as soon as possible. And we have both these teams here now on the seaside, Jim.
Yeah, it's the last game, and you either win this one or you go home. So it's obviously a big game, and for the most part, these teams have been down here for a game or two and playing under those sort of situations where win or go home. So they're pretty familiar, and we saw Gushue play last night, and it was a great game. And haven't seen Morozumi play this week, but pretty good team, and I've seen them a few times this year. So I think this will be a good game.
So the action continuing here in the second end. The first end was blanked. Brad Gushue throwing the yellow stones here. Morozumi with the green rocks.
There we go.
Hey, there we go, and we are live. So here's Morozumi. The empty house. Color. Morozumi with green. And this is Gushue line one. Morozumi looking to make the takeout here after a blanked first end. Thank you for your patience trying to get this going. Like I said, we had some major technical difficulties that have stopped us from having a second feature game really all day. So we've been able to gather some resources to get this going again. So thank you so much for your patience. We appreciate it. Sumimasen, and Ohio to all our friends in Japan. Hit and stick there made by Morozumi.
Yeah, it's a good shot. It's always a little different early in the game. You haven't really had a chance to see a lot. The practice tends to focus a lot on the draw to the button, and so they don't play a lot of shots during the practice. And you're going out there into the middle of the 12-foot for a hit, even though it's the end of the week and you've been here for 4 or 5 days now, then it's still always a bit of a challenge. So nice throw.
So now Gushue here. Looking for the blank here in the second end. That's in the books. Both stones go away, and we're still scoreless after 2 here from Sault Ste. Marie. We'll be back after this. You're watching Curling Stadium. Check everything out on Curling Zone.
Running the sanctuary absolutely brings me peace. The work is 100% cathartic for me. You know, I find myself getting tied up in it and being busy, and then it's really nice just to sit, breathe in life, and it's beyond zen.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
And here we are back here in Sault Ste. Marie, third end of a scoreless game between Brad Gushue and Yusuke Morozumi. Dave Schmel along with Jim Nix joining you today. This is the event game. It's a must make for each of these teams. You lose, you go home. And there's a couple blanks to start. Morozumi with the center guard and Gushue putting up the corner guard here with Hammer in end number 3.
Yeah, we haven't seen the first 2 ends, and not really sure how they got to the blanks. Sometimes blanks are because everybody bangs away, but other times it's funny how the blanks happen. Teams get pretty aggressive, and then with about 4 rocks to come, they clean everything up and end up with a blank. So we'll see how they go at this now.
Well, it's amazing how you think you have it all figured out, then before you know it, bam, bam, and they are all gone.
Nice draw there.
Yeah, it's showing just a little piece, and we're going to see Adam Casey here. It's not Jeff Walker, it is Adam Casey. He is throwing the lead stones. He's been the 5th on this team for this season. They're waiting the arrival of Brendan Botcher to the squad. He had previous commitments this week.
Yeah, Brendan's playing mixed doubles with Rachel Holman somewhere, and they were, I actually tried to pop in today to catch a little bit of their game. I knew they were playing, and the game was over, and they were up. They had won, I don't know, 10-2 or something like that over someone, and they just didn't. So I think they're cruising along okay in that. I know they won their first game with 10-0 or something, so having a pretty good weekend away from here. Going the other way this time for the Morozumi team. Nice shot.
Absolutely. And they line 1 and 2 under cover. And I would suspect that Gushue is going to look to clean house here with Jeff Walker. Jeff Walker getting to throw a few extra peels now that in the second spot.
Yeah, it's certainly not a shot you throw very often from the lead position anymore, that's for sure.
And it's going to hit 1, 2, and pass the second one, but that's a pretty good effort there, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good result. I mean, the way everything was lined up, it was going to be hard to do much better than that, so Brad will be happy with that.
Morozumi. Come on and draw another one in. You need to keep the play towards the center here, right, Jim? Because you can't let Brad want to draw around.
No, exactly, yeah. And that's another good shot. That's 3 perfect draws in a row. The Japanese squad certainly has their draw weight down here early in this one.
So, Walker, those are lined up that there is a double possible, and you could possibly leave your own in there too. So with the good execution on this one, hard to hold it. It looks like it's going to over curl. Going to get the one and the second one, and do you clear it all the way out? A big scrub from the skip, and it is still hanging on just at the edge though. Great effort.
Yeah, great shot by Jeff for sure. It looked like it might get away from him for a second and maybe only get the high one, but he held it on there pretty well and almost got rid of everything, and certainly got rid of anything that was of any potential danger at this point.
So now looking for the takeout here all the way on the outside.
I'm going to try to roll this. Well, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, they roll it back. They roll it back forward. That's not bad at all, buddy. That's dead under.
Yeah, I mean, he's behind the tee line, but he couldn't do anything about that. So it's a pretty good effort. That's a dandy shot. I don't know for sure if it's the best place to go. He might have been just as well off leaving it out there in the 12-foot and seeing what Brad did with it. But in the meantime, it was a great effort.
Yeah, if you're not going to stick there, you might as well get to where you ended up, I would say.
Yeah.
So now this shot, this one has some work to do. Casey's just going to let it work. Hope it works over a little bit. Walking over. Weight looks just right, and it's going to come on and just be just a touch short of it. They should have room to dig it out if they like.
Yeah, I think Mark is probably not super thrilled with that. I think he would have liked to have been just the top of the button, really, so that this freeze wasn't a possibility for the Japanese team. But I mean, it's a heck of a shot. It's just not as perfect as these guys might like to have. Go sideways from the hog line. That was a good shot.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So where do you like one here for Brad?
Well, it'd be interesting. I think he's gonna. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think he's gonna do something with the guard in the front. I don't think he'll follow that down. I think he sees the potential of only getting one if he decides to follow it down at this point. He's going to go in, turn tap, maybe. So he's looking for a back 8-foot, just trying to move the green one back and leave his there. Tough shot. Tough shot to make well, I think. Nice catch over on the other side.
Oh, for sure. We see the Italian team over there. You can't miss Amos Macenter. He's rather tall.
Yeah. Casey working
Now Adam
hard.
Casey. Yeah, Casey needs to work this one over. And that's not going to get up to the target. So that's a miss there from Mark Nichols.
Yeah, not two good ones from Mark. He doesn't very often have. His first one wasn't terrible or anything, but it was not where he wanted to be. And not too many ends I don't imagine he has where he's not happy with either shot. Guys are going to chat about this a little bit. I think he's going to come right around. Sit right on the top of it.
Yeah, I think that would be the best spot for it too. Now, we have had a couple blanks in a row, so they should have a little bit of time in the bank.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not quite sure where he wants this one to end up. It looks like he tapped a kind of a little bit of the over curl here, but I'm not so sure you want to get to the other side of that green one, because then if Gushue plays the run back, he can make the run back double and leave his right behind the guard. So I think I'd like to keep this right on the nose, or even just a hair on the high side, being that'd be the side closer to the center line. That's where I think I'd put it anyway, so try to put it.
So the stone on the way. Has some curling to do, trying to work it over. I think they like the weight. Just trying to get to the proper line. And that is pretty well deadlined up. Not on the high side, but still really darn good, I would think.
Yeah, it's a good shot for sure. It's just, no matter where he went, he was going to leave something on a run back, or this is going to be just a pick double. Maybe pick triple, actually. So we might have been right. Maybe he had to get over there far enough, but I was thinking he was going to be a little higher than that, so that the green might go on the yellow if Brad was going to play it. Either way, pretty impressive draw weight by this Japanese squad this end. It's just they've been perfect on every draw.
So here's Gushue. He's got to make some noise here.
Yeah, he'd like to be really tight to that guard for sure, without hitting it.
Casey trying to walk it over just a little bit. Gonna get one, and you get them both moving, so you do leave the Morozumi stone sitting second, but that's about as well as he could have done there.
Yeah, I think that was a great shot. I would agree with you totally, David. It was going to be hard to get anything better than that. I mean, just a little bit luckier, you might even get rid of that out of the green one, but that was a pretty good throw. And he's, he might be forced to one here, but at least he's not going to be, probably not going to be, in a position where he can't score. This guy's
so Morozumi's going to throw the outturn draw here and try to come down in front of the Gushue stone there in the 4-foot. Do you ever see a spot where you can put it and Gushue is in a really bad spot?
Well, I mean, if he gets it right behind the yellow, sort of almost frozen on his own, but above the tee line or right on the tee line, then Brad might have to play a draw for one. But nice curls so much that it's just really hard to put this somewhere where he wouldn't be able to get to it at least. But I could see where he could put it and just have to take one. That's not going to be a good shot.
Yeah, this is not. That was not the intended outcome. That was significantly heavy there from Morozumi. And just like that, we went from talking about a force to Gushue has a relatively straightforward hit for 3.
Yeah, that was just a really bad miss after after throwing all those perfect draws, and yeah, this one couldn't have turned out any worse. Really, it just it's almost a gimme double, and yeah, just not good.
I think Brad feels like he caught something on the ice on his skate up. They're doing some housekeeping there.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the games I've done, although today, obviously, we didn't do anything today, but the little bit I did see of one of the other games when I was watching it from the Sioux group, they were doing a lot of cleaning on the ice like that, but I haven't really seen any picks yet that I'm aware of.
I've had one all weekend in a game that I've called. But Brad Gushue here, the final stone at end number 3. Make this double, you're going to get a triple. Bang, bang, there you go, and you can count them up 1, 2, 3. 3-0 for Brad Gushue after 3. We'll be back momentarily from Sault Ste. Marie right after this on Curling Stadium.
Here at Red Arena, we are trying to help people through equine therapy. Working with the veterans has been a very amazing experience. Our little motto that we...
Running the sanctuary absolutely brings me peace. The work is 100% cathartic for me. You know, I find myself getting tied up in it and being busy, and then it's really nice just to sit, breathe in life, and it's beyond zen.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
We're back here at number 4. It's 3-0 in favor of Brad Gushue, and man, that was just a well-played end by the Morozumi rink that just went away with one shot.
Yeah, really unfortunate. I mean, he didn't even have to make the draw perfect to have Brad not be able to do much with it. Just get it in the house above the tee line, because you know if you do that, it's going to curl enough to be on the other side of the rocks that they hit, and would have been no worse than giving up a point. Instead, put it really a place you just couldn't put it. And
if you're Gushue there, you have to be wiping your brow and thanking your lucky stars, I would think.
I would say.
So the first one in the house, corner guard up for Morozumi. The second one coming on in from Adam Casey. That looks a little bit heavier than intended as well.
Yeah, that was definitely heavy. That was probably 10 feet heavy by the time you think about it with the sweeping and everything else. It's just, yeah, he was looking to be just in front of that one.
Maybe the temperature is coming up a little bit in the shed and making the ice slightly more keen. But yeah, definitely something to look at, because that's 2 relative severe misses on draw weight that we've seen in a row, really.
Yeah. So
way more than you expect.
Yeah. Brad's just going to go top 12 foot on the center line. Can't really guard either one of those, and it's pretty early to try to guard them anyways. So he's going to split the difference.
Shot from Hawaii.
It's a good shot.
So the Morozumi rink's going to have to do some housekeeping here and hasn't set up properly yet, but you could probably make this and roll underneath one of these corners if you get it right.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do. He's going to try to roll. First call is to roll to the left, our left. Didn't quite get there, but good shot.
Yeah, you do get the double to go, and you don't hate the fact that you're in front of the Gushue stone.
No, exactly.
Makes it just a little bit more difficult for Brad to get rid of, but we see the double peel called for here. So
yeah, this is kind of an early lead on the scoreboard call, really. Some teams at 3-0 after 3 might not go at this yet, but Brad figures that's a pretty big jump. He's going to make sure that nothing gets out of control here. Didn't really work out for him.
No, he ended up leaving a guard. And that's definitely probably going to do some favors for him. So, I mean, he's going to elect to draw underneath the other corner.
Yeah, he could come around if he wanted to, and he knows probably Brad's going to run that rock back in. I don't think he'd chase him in there, so he could come right around to the yellow, but he's opting to go around the corner, put it there for a reason. He's going to use it. So he's got to curl a little bit to get by that high one.
Oh, it just skitters by and finishes nicely undercovered. It's significantly behind the tee line, but in terms of a position, not too bad.
No, it was interesting. He only missed that top one by just a millimeter or something. He didn't miss him by hardly anything, and he's almost completely buried. It's still reachable because of the way the ice curls, but it's pretty near completely buried. And surprising. That was a lot of curl.
So now Team Gushue is going to take on the chase here. Stone from Nichols clears the guard, coming down to the Morozumi stone, and it's going to tap it all the way through. Good comeback shot there for Mark Nichols.
Yeah, that was a good shot for sure. Those are shots that Mark usually makes quite easily. For this team plays that touch game as good as any of the teams out there. I think it's that they throw that when they're removing rocks, they're never throwing them very hard if they can help it, and they always just have enough weight that it goes out when it's supposed to go out. Some teams, they try to do that and they just don't get enough on it, and all of a sudden the rock doesn't go out. So still good setup for Japanese guys, though. They've got a pretty good chance here to. Didn't want to roll, but.
Well, we saw one instance last night, for sure in that night then, where the stone went out with a little bit too much force.
Yeah.
Giving us the rare extra end. And if you didn't see that, hop on to YouTube and watch a replay of the Gushue drop-in game. A very rare 10-end affair with a double extra end. I know Jim and I didn't get much sleep.
Yeah. We certainly didn't get a nap in during the game. The game was a great game, and it was really exciting to watch for sure, to bring it to you guys, but also to watch it even.
It's just one of those things. It's great to be a fan of curling and watch a game that was that good. Shots made by both sides fantastically. Now here with Morozumi, it's Gushue sitting 1-2. Your thoughts?
Well, I think this is the right shot. You go by here, try to tap that yellow. He's looking to tap the yellow. I don't know if he's trying to get it out or not, but you just, if you can go by tight enough, you can probably get that almost on the nose. And that would be good. And if you don't get it quite on the nose, if you can get a little bit of a roll towards the yellow, get it maybe in front of the other yellow, that would be a good spot too. There's always the little slasher in the zone, but I just think it's a little early to play that.
So doesn't hurt that he's coming out of the left-handed hack.
Yeah.
Hits it and rolls right on over to a pretty good spot. Nice shot by Yuda Matsumura.
Yeah, that was a really good shot. That was probably plan A, to be honest. It's interesting, Dave, just a quick little story back many years ago, probably a dozen, probably 15 years ago now, there was a little bit of rumor that curling might go to a single hack out there. So our club, for some reason, decided we were going to get ahead of everybody. We did that. Well, it was never a good idea. we used to hold a pretty successful cash bill, and I don't know how many and I used to cheer that, and I don't know how many curlers came out and said, Jim, like, we love this thing, but if you guys are going to have one hack next year, we're not coming back. So, okay. Anyway, the concept was good, but didn't really, didn't catch on, obviously.
Yeah, I've heard that bandied around our club a little bit, and nobody's ever done it serious. Now, obviously, if it's a universal rule change, everybody would go along with it, but here's a shot here coming down. Casey's going to try to work it over. You want to get all the way across the face. You can get it without jamming on your own, and yes, you do, and you lie 1 and 2. Great shot by the skipper, and a equally good brush by Adam Casey.
Yeah, I've been impressed, actually. We've done a few Gushue games now in this event, and I've been really impressed with Adam sweeping. He's a powerhouse with that. He can really move rocks around, and not a big guy, but he gets a lot of downward pressure and gets some speed going. And yeah, he's impressed the heck out of me with his brushing this weekend.
Well, he's certainly getting the leverage. I mean, you see his legs are way out behind the broom, and he's making every possible use of the leverage that's available to him. So great technique, and who says former skips can't sweep?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's an interesting call by Morozumi. He's certainly not going to try to run away and hide or not play scared here. He's coming right around the center guard.
That's except for you, buddy. You've been using the same broom head for what, 2.5 years now? Me?
Yeah, ever since I bought one of those competition heads when it first came out, and I've never changed it.
It means you're an effective leader, buddy. You delegate well.
Yeah, I'm selective sweeper. I only have to sweep periodically, and it keeps my broom nice and fresh. And I don't slide with it. I slide with a brush, so it doesn't even get dirty that way.
Stone on the way for Morozumi. His first. Trying to get under cover here.
Yeah, very aggressive call. Nicely done.
It's their top 4. So you see Brad throwing the slash to the run.
I don't think he's going to run the yellow. I don't think he'll try that. He might, though. I like the slash probably would be the shot he would play. It's just I also don't know if he couldn't come all the way around and actually tap the green one. There's quite a bit of distance there when you look at the overhead. That yellow guard's out there a ways, so I don't know. I'll have another look at the long one.
So here comes Jeff Walker and Fake Walker. We get another day to have fun with that.
Yeah. It's a lot of walkers. It's a bad Walking Dead day here with all the walkers. So. Can't believe I said that.
But still you did.
Yeah. Oh, gotta own it. So what's Brad gonna play here? He's still looking pretty hard. Looks like he's gonna go green on green. Not a lot of risk in this shot, really. It's Don't know exactly. If he doesn't get it right, he might leave one green, one around, but if he leaves it in the 8-foot even, it's going to be hard for the Japanese guys to get rid of the 2 yellows. So
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a higher percentage shot.
yeah, they're pretty close together, and they looked at pretty much everything here.
So here's Brad Gushue with his final stone of the 4th end.
He's a little out.
Casey trying to walk it over. This is going to be high, and it jams and rolls up. So we have Gushue line shot. Morozumi second. Now, Jim, the question is, can Morozumi make that double on the outside to get a deuce?
Yeah, it's definitely there for sure, and I think that's his only option. I don't think he could get the double, or I don't think he scored 2 any other way. He might, if that long guard wasn't there, he might be able to do the in-turn, come around right around the green, around both greens, and tap the yellow just far enough to score 2. But the way it curls, I don't think he could do that. I think he would have to have another foot of room on the guard. So this is probably the easiest of the 2. It's not a gimme double, no question, but definitely a makeable shot.
With that being said, Jim, it's one if you're going to take on, you need to make, because if you miss it, you're down by 4.
Yeah, I agree. He needs to make this for sure.
So, Yusuke Morozumi, final stone at number 4. Just a heavy clean now, trying to work it over a little bit. You're on the first one, over to the second one, clear it out. Yes, you do. Good shot by the skipper, and he gets his deuce here in 4, and that makes the score 3-2 after 4 for the Henderson Metal Ball Classic presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario in Sault Ste.Marie.
Here at Red Arena, we are trying to help people through equine therapy. Working with the
Running the sanctuary absolutely brings me peace. The work is 100% cathartic for me. I find myself getting tied up in it and being busy, and then it's really nice just to sit, breathe in life, and it's beyond zen.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Back here, 5th end action for the Henderson Metal Ball Classic presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. Dave Schmel and Jim Nix, we're happy to join you here today. It is 3-2 in favor of Brad Gushue, who will have the hammer throwing the yellow stones here in the 5th. And Jim, we were talking about the break, about the bold choices by Morozumi there, and that allowed him eventually to get to that deuce.
Yeah, I was impressed with the first call because, even though it seems a little bit obvious sometimes, teams are a little bit hesitant to go, especially after you just gave away a 3 the last end. So you're a little bit hesitant to do the right thing there, and you try to do something foolish, come around the corner and tap something. It just never ever works out. So give him credit for that shot. And anyway, it ends up turning into an opportunity for 2, and he made a really nice double to make it.
For sure.
Makes this end really interesting. If you could force Gushue to 1 here and get the hammer back in the 6th end and get his 2, all of a sudden he's in control, or theoretically in control at least, of the game. So
First stone in the back of the 4. Center guard and one of the top 4 up for Morozumi. Now here's Adam Casey, and I see it looks like Brad wants to mix it up a little bit. Does it look like that center guard's on the line? I think it's just off, eh?
Might be just off, yeah. And with Brad going up there, it would sort of seem to indicate maybe that's what he's trying to do, is move that a little bit. And I can't picture what else he'd be doing up there, so.
So coming on down, and with that stone not touching the center line, it can be ticked and moved around here. And we'll get ticked into the house and leave Gushue a corner.
A little light, I think, Adam, on that one. I would think that he would have wanted a little more weight than that. Let's give him a little bit of talk about something there, so can't quite read the hand motions. But it was a bit odd that that rock went right across the face. I think that was just a combination of light and maybe just a little bit soft out of his hand. You don't get enough handle on them. Sometimes they go early on you.
Yeah. Next stone coming down from the Morozumi rink, putting the guard back up on the center line. Or adjacent to it. Doesn't matter now. We're at the end. We're at rock number 6. And now we have the real Jeff Walker. Will he please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up.
It's going back. They'll probably try to run. They'll try to run this into the greens and pick up something other than just a guard, but didn't really work out quite that way.
Yeah, they ended up dead jamming it, leaving themselves a corner.
Yeah.
Now, with the lineup there,
I think they'll put the same guard on. Yeah.
Yeah, another guard again. Okay.
Yeah. And they don't really have to guard the top rock. Really, it's they can leave that open on the outside because Brad can't do anything with it, so they just want to guard right on the center line and be fine. Just biting the center line would probably be even okay. This one's out there a long ways. Quite what he wanted, but probably works out okay.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be too bad because everything's still keyed up on that Gushue stone.
I don't know if he can hit the green one and come off the back of the yellow and roll into the rings, which would be interesting. He'd end up with number 2, number 3, but.
This one on the way from Jeff Walker. Casey holding again, another big scrub. It seems like every time we see Casey, he's sweeping, and it's a good job on them.
Yeah, that certainly wasn't what they were playing, but it's probably not a terrible result for him.
Do you find the guard attempt interesting here as opposed to coming around something?
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised yet. There's not that many more rocks to come, and still about halfway through the end, so maybe one more. I thought he might come right around his own green one, or even come around the yellow. So I'm a bit surprised at this going back up right now, because I don't know if Gushue will try to peel it. So I might just. I'm probably going to peel it now. It's far enough in.
see what the shot selection is here from Brad Gushue. Peel is on. Nichols adjusted to put his peel shoes on, and here he comes.
And it's not very far apart either, so Morozumi might be without any guards here in a minute. Nope.
Oh, just missed the top one. Almost got the triple, but two of them do indeed go away. Ever so close there, Jim.
Yeah, just another, well, whatever, just another half an inch or so, and he would have picked that green one right off and got rid of everything in the front. So Morozumi's calling the guard again, I believe.
Stone on the way from Matsumura. And thrown effectively. That's what he called.
Yeah, they might have went one too many times. Figured at some point there Brad was going to change this up, but still going to run. Maybe.
But as Nichols comes down to talk about this, what do you mean one too many times?
Well, I thought that that Brad might change this now and go to the draw, and I don't know that would be a good thing for Morozumi's team, to be honest. I thought maybe just that's one too many guards. So now it's might give Gushue a chance to play something other than the peel.
With this scoreboard the way it is, so you probably would have changed gears on that rock as opposed to now.
Yeah, just on that one, I think I would have. I think on that one I would have just came right around the green and come to even the back of the 4-foot would be okay. I know you run a risk of them making the double, but I think it would have been not a bad option either. You just have to, it's a tough one because you got to be a little bit careful because you ever set it up to double and roll behind the guard, now you're going to give up two, and you can't afford that either. So it's a bit of a chess game here, trying to figure out what the other guy's going to do, and I don't even know if they haven't even totally decided yet. So if he makes a double peel, and Morozumi still has the yellow that he can come around, but it is a yellow one, so that's not preferred. But I think he'll have to do that.
So the double peel is going to be the call here.
Yeah.
Mark Nichols. Walker to hold it. 1, 2, and away they go. They did leave the guard, though, but it is theirs.
Yeah, got a couple things to work with.
So nice shot out of the third, 2 of them in a row, and good bounce back after a couple early struggles from Nichols.
Yeah, that was a good shot. That's one of those shots that Mark's kind of known for, and you don't expect him to miss too many of those.
We've seen him make a lot of them so far this week, and that is for certain. So now Morozumi skates on down. The skipper's going to try to put one underneath cover.
Yeah, it's been an interesting end without really anything dramatic happening. It's been just interesting to watch the thought process as this end has gone on. So it's simple now because Morozumi has no option but to go around the longer of the 2 guards, I think, and that's where he's going. And if he makes it good, then Brad might try the run back. Looks really good from here.
On the way is trying to work its way over. Control the depth. You're going to be right to the middle of 4-foot. Pretty good outcome, I would say.
Yeah, might have curled a hair too much, but I think it's going to be interesting. I think Brad will probably run this back. It was never Brad's forte, this sort of shot, but I think he's gotten a lot better at it over the last 2 or 3 years. So I've seen him make way more of these than way back I would have expected him to make. It's not a shot I don't think he loves this kind of weight, but at the same time he throws it pretty good now. So I expect this to be close.
So Gushue with his stone on the way. Put it straight back. Bang, bang. There you go. Left a lot of cover there to draw under, though.
Yeah, that's the worst part of that shot. He actually left a much better guard, so Morozumi can get around this one, and he can get around it and overcurl it a little bit just to take that away. It could be tough. Could make Gushue have to make a really good shot to score.
So Morozumi, if he can make a good one here, will put the force on Brad Gushue, and after what has been a very interesting end, pretty well accomplish his mission.
Exactly.
And he'll take the hammer into end number 6.
Yeah, that's or he'll be tied, one of the two. Yeah, so it's a pretty good position for him right now. And he, like I say, they've had, other than that one draw that went to the back of the 8-foot, but the team has had bang on draw weight. So I expect this to be really close too. They haven't thrown a lot of in turns. They tend to seem to play a lot of out turns, but I'm sure he'll be able to figure that out.
So Yellowstone in the end for Morozumi. Not laying a brush to this as of yet. This needs to carve and grind. Now it comes. Will it settle to a good spot? Probably good enough for the force.
Yeah, I think, in an ideal world, he would be at the top of the button or top of the 4-foot than the back of the 4-foot, but he got it buried, which took the blank away and forced Brad probably to draw for his one here. They're looking at whether or not they might want to try to run something back, or at least Mark's looking at it. Brad doesn't seem to be looking at it too much. So,
Mark's trying to sell it, but Brad's not buying it.
Yeah, Mark's saying, well, we can blank this, we can play that run back. And like Brad's thinking 2-point lead, I'm okay with that.
I think it's a good case of discretion's a better part of valor here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be up 2. Come get me. So here's Brad Gushue with the final stone of the 5th. Just needs a 4-foot, and he has backing.
Well, we watched him play last night, and this is to be like drawn to the Atlantic Ocean for him. Last night he was drawing the edge of the button with about 4 square inches, and he made everything.
Isn't that the truth? 4 square inches. You're being generous. I don't even think he had that last night.
Well, he may not have.
And that one is going to come right on down, and that single is in the books with no problem. So it's a 4-2 lead for Brad Gushue. We'll be back from Sault Ste.Marie after this.
Here at
Running the sanctuary absolutely brings me peace. The work is 100% cathartic for me. I find myself getting tied up in it and being busy, and then it's really nice just to sit, breathe in life, and it's beyond zen.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Back here, end number 6 from the Henderson Metal Fall Classic, presented by Coyote Tractors of Ontario. The Schmel Gymnics, we're happy to join you here. It was a single point for Brad Gushue. In the 5th, he holds a 4-2 advantage, and it is Yusuke Morozumi with the hammer throwing the green stones here in end number 6.
Yeah, both teams are probably okay with the result of that last end. I think, Morozumi had a bit of a chance to maybe steal one, but going into that end, I think he would not have been unhappy with it, 4-1. And Brad, goes up. He has to take one, but he goes up by 2 now after 5 and or after 4. What is that, sir? After 5, I guess. And I don't think he's terribly unhappy either. So kind of a bit of a win-win for both teams there, I'd say.
So here's Adam Casey throwing the lead rocks here. Team still waiting the arrival of Brendan Botcher, who will be joining them on the 2nd stone.
Yeah, I assume that's probably next weekend, right? Can't remember if the Pan Am Games or the Pan Continental competition or whatever is next week or not, but it's coming up, and I think Brendan will be there for that.
This bonspiel, for sure, this bonspiel here has attracted a lot of attention to the major men's teams on the circuit, because more than $100,000 is up for grabs in this spiel.
Yeah, that's a very, very big purse.
Gonna hustle this one past the guard and just get to the top of the 12-foot. So it's Gushue on the button, undercover. They could use their own stone right now, right?
Yeah, they can do that.
But they won't.
Won't read in. Yeah, that one was just a little short for the Morozumi rink. It's just a little bit shorter than they would like to have had it, but it's a rock they can use too. We're super early in the end here, so that might come into play for them later.
Because we are so early, and where the Gushue rock is where I thought they might have played off of their own there onto it, but electing instead to come all the way into the rings.
This one's not going to do too much for him.
No, that's going to wreck and not be super.
I think Morozumi's not going to be real happy with all those yellows out there. I think he'll probably do something here to that.
Yeah, I think it is time to do that, because I heard you thinking in your breath, and I could see Morozumi thinking, and we all thought, yeah, this just doesn't look optimal.
Yeah, exactly. So he's trying to play looks like a back line kind of weight and remove the yellow. Probably more like a hack, maybe, I don't know. Remove the yellow and maybe roll onto the rings behind the green one. Can't really tell for sure how far out in front that yellow one is, but
well, we know that we're off and on, so the line's got to be really close. Try to work it over just a skosh, get a little wick. You move it and you roll your own underneath your own guard. Will it stick there? Oh, that's a nifty shot.
Yeah, that was a really, very, very thoughtful thinking of that, because it's, he would like to get just a hair more of it, stayed a little higher and all that, but still, that's a heck of a shot.
That was really creative, because that was the call, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now all of a sudden Brad's going to be chasing here. So
yeah, he's going to try to minimize the number of green ones around for sure.
with the angles that are left there, it's not going to be the easiest of tests. He's going to try to get past this guard and dig out the one in the back of the rings, thread the needle past the top one, and there you go. Rolling, 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 rolling all the way to the back 8 foot, but a nice shot there through that backwards port.
Yeah, that was a dandy. That's it's not. It doesn't look like a real big port, I'm sure, to him either. So a little split here for Morozumi. Just move his green ones behind the guards and open up the yellow on the button.
So we're definitely calling shot makers shots right now.
Yeah,
it's gonna be who makes the most of them, and if either team converts, it's gonna be a good number for either one of them. So game on here in end number 6.
Yeah, I like the style of this end for the Japanese squad for sure. Just kind of some really interesting shots. And like you say, creative is a good word for that. Whether it all pans out in the end, I don't know. But for right now, you gotta like it. And not only that, they're making most of them.
There's the split. You got one a little buried, the other one to the 4 foot undercover, and not really uber accessible for Gushue.
No.
With that said, even if he goes to where that he just indicated, if he comes down to it, the one on the center line is easily accessible, as well as doubling off the one in the back. So not a lot of good places.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's you don't like to be guarding up a solo rock here. You're up a couple points. It's not necessarily the preferred position to be in where you're guarding one rock. And there's no real good place to go to sit number 2.
So Casey, another big scrub. Every time we look, Casey is scrubbing.
He left a hole here, though.
He did. Now the question is, you can certainly thread that needle. He's indicating a roll a little bit over behind his. I think that'd be an awesome spot if you get there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely makeable. The hole's plenty big enough. And if this is the time to make it, because you might not get another crack at it quite this wide open.
Key shot here in the 6th end for Matsumura. Got to try to thread this needle and get the perfect roll. Off and on, always a good sign. Needs to come up just a little bit. We're past the guard without a problem. Now you get the hit, or you got to get the perfect roll. Oh, you had to go a little bit further under, I think.
Yeah, he had to hit a little bit thinner because there wasn't room to get under it further because of his own rock. So he had a little thinner, then it comes off there a little bit differently, and that would have been good. But man, it'd be hard to come much thinner. You got to miss the guard. Like it's pretty aggressive on the sweep call as it was, I thought.
So we're gonna see the Gushue rink come down and have a discussion here. I would think they called timeout at this point.
I think they did, yeah.
Now, because Adam Casey is yet to walk past the hog line without a timeout officially called.
Yeah.
He is my signal right now.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
You know what? That's a guy who's a skip and knows the rules.
Yeah. So it looks like they're going to go after the one that's just on the button there, and maybe try to flop over a little bit to Brad's left or right as we look at it here. It's again, it's the same hole, so there's plenty of room to get through there without any doubt. It's just a matter of you can get through and hold the shooter. You definitely don't want to go. You definitely don't want to roll out on this. You'd love to save this, even if it ends up not being shot, or not even maybe being second shot. It's as long as you're there somewhere, it's not too bad.
So shot here from Nichols. This has to come up a little bit. Will it curl enough? Does it get past it? Squeezes past. Gonna get one and only one. So you see the indication there. He's gonna look to roll the other way with this one now.
Yeah, and actually has a little bit more room to work with in that way than he had on the last shot. So, yeah, it's a good opportunity to make the roll behind the opposite side of where his current rock is.
This one coming down for Matsumura. And the left-hander's shot is going to get past the guard. It's going to make the hit. Do we get the nice roll? Slide on over just enough, I think. Pretty good. You do see just a sliver of it, though, Jim.
Yeah, I think it's actually slightly overswept on the hold side, or whatever you want to call that. You need to move a little bit more, because I think Brad can hit this. He can pretty much make the double here. It would be a control weight kind of double, not a big heavyweight shot, but certainly doable, even though he might be a little bit scary from the other end, but you can see 2 inches of it or so. It's plenty. Good news is, as long as he gets through the hole, he's going to hit something.
That much for sure is correct. So here Brad Gushue got a difficult double. He took even more ice, so I think at this weight, he's probably not going to kill either stone. It's more about being in the right position, I would think, now.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think it might be, I think he'll kill the one on the right, but I don't think he's going to have enough weight to move both of them out, but he'd probably be happy with sitting on top of the other one.
It's got to curl over if you're going to get to anything. Past the guard just by a hair on the one and over to the second one, and you move it. The question is, did you get shot stone out of it? And I believe you did.
It's pretty close.
That is very close. First indication from the Japanese squad is that they think it's them.
Yeah, it's close.
I'm gonna take a couple more looks at it. Matsumura thinks it's him, and that's the third job. So
yeah,
you literally have one job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and don't be wrong. Yeah, I think it's green too. Myself, I looking at it, we don't have the total best angle on it, but we're pretty much right above it. So I think it's green. I also don't think you can do anything about it, even if it's not. So because I don't know what you would ever do to outcount that. You're still probably going to have to play the in-turn draw and try to bury it in the 4-foot.
Yeah, because you're ever to play that yellow-green combination off the 12-foot, right there by feet first.
Yeah.
You probably drive the stone onto yours, which you certainly don't want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
So the first indication, and I think I agree with this, you just need to draw to the 4-foot on the other side and hide.
Yeah.
Which is scary, because anything that you can throw there, Brad can certainly follow down.
Yeah, I think it's a really tough shot. I think you need to be second shot or first shot, whatever you want to call it. You need to be closer than the yellow, but you don't want to be very far down. You want to make sure that he doesn't have too much room to work with. So you just want to be just far enough to be that. to beat that yellow out. You don't want to be like T line or behind the T line or anything crazy. Like, I don't know what these guys are looking at. They have rooms going all over the place, and I just don't know what those shots are. So I think you're gonna.
Our folks on the YouTube consensus is that greenish shot right now.
Oh, well, that's good then. I like it when they agree with me.
Yeah. A little bit behind the curtain for you folks. We don't always look at the same picture as you do.
Yeah.
It does. I'd say fractionally it is green.
Okay. That's good enough for me.
And they're going to take a poll now, actually. Now they're looking at that angles on those stones, which I was looking at. And now coming back the... Oh, wow, you ever draw that up? I think I know what they're looking at. They're thinking of going... I don't know. That's... Okay, I got no clue, buddy. Now we have a vote for yellow.
I don't understand this shot at all. I just can't figure. I don't know what comes good out of this shot.
Are they trying to? Well, the only reason you're ever going to throw this is if you don't think you're shot, and I believe the call is to redirect off the yellow onto the other one. Onto what yellow? The one maybe
the one in the house. I don't see
blow
that.
It up.
Yeah, but it doesn't. No, that can't be that. That doesn't make any sense. If you're going to try to do that, I think you'd run the other yellow one. What turns he throwing?
Find out now.
Oh, he's going to throw the out turn. Okay, so I guess he's trying to run the yellow back and pick the other yellow out. No, that's not it. They'd stop sweeping if that was it. I have no clue. I think he just gave away the end to me.
Yeah, that's what happened. You know, for my $2 or 500 yen, I would have thrown a draw through there to the forefoot and tried to light two.
Oh, yeah, me too. I just didn't. I don't get that shot. I don't like to be critical. I just can't figure it out. So.
No. Maybe if I knew what was going, maybe I could learn.
Yeah, because it certainly looked like he was trying to roll kind of in the direction he did. Maybe he's trying to roll and put another green one on or something. But as soon as you do that, you're opening this up, and I don't think you wanted to open it up. But anyway.
Unless they think that they can use that green later that's there.
Yeah, and that's possible too. This one's got a curl.
It certainly does. They're trying to work it over. They're going to get a sliver of it and clear it. And you know what? Morozumi's going to have an open shot for two anyway.
Perfect. That's exactly what he was trying to do.
That's exactly what he had drawn up the entire time, Jim.
And I'll tell you what, he almost had a chop for three. That green one didn't go up by much at the back.
No. So, Yusuke Morozumi, super genius.
It's like when you try to teach juniors sometimes, and the juniors are like, it didn't matter, it worked. So if it works, it's hard to tell them why it wasn't good. They just don't buy it. That, and to teach them, my daughter, when she was starting, couldn't understand the concept that the rock couldn't go through the other rock, because that's the way we played some shots. So anyway, let's see if Morozumi can make this for his two.
So Morozumi, final stone end number 6, needs a hit and stick for a deuce and to level the score here. On a hard to hold it, this needs to be held. Certainly needs to be held. Now it straightens up and flattens up a little bit, and no problem for the skipper. 2 on the board, and we're tied up after 6. Gushue will have the hammer in end number 7. We come back from Sault Ste.Marie here on Curling Stadium.
Running the sanctuary absolutely brings me peace. The work is 100% cathartic for me. You know, I find myself getting tied up in it and being busy, and then it's really nice just to sit, breathe in life, and it's beyond zen.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Form so.
Back here in end number 7 of the Henderson Mental Fall Classic. And in end number 7, happy you're joining us here this evening on Curling Stadium. And in the morning to all of our folks in Japan, Dave Schmel and Jim Nix. Happy to have you joining us here. We have a tied affair after 7 ends of play, and a great one thus far, buddy.
Yeah, it's been interesting. There's been some really fun ends to watch, and some of the strategy that the Japanese guys put into place there to get rocks into the house was really good. They made a lot of really tough little shots, and the last one was a bit confusing for us, but they had a plan, and I don't know if it worked out right or not, but they got there too, which was important. And actually they're they're kind of in the control position, if you will, now as far as the game goes, after tied up after 6 and with hammer and even in. So yeah, it should be a good finish.
I'm going to take a look around the rings here at our other games right now. John Epping has a 5-3 lead in the 6th end over Brad Jacobs. Scott Howard up 3-2 over Retornaz. And Reed Carruthers with a 5-3 lead over Klima. But right here, we're tied up after 6 at a score of 4-4. Gushue with the hammer, throwing the yellow stones here, with one on the top 4. So if you're Gushue here, I guess you have to feel like you have to score 2. With the new rules, it's tough to make somebody blank anymore, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be hard to make the blank, but I think that would be, in his mind, I think that would be his first thought, would be his preference to try to get into a position to get a blank in. But if the other team makes all their shots, it could be very difficult to do.
Shot on the way from Adam Casey. Going to come up and settle right on top of the Morozumi stone, just as called for. Yeah, so they said shot there, and Morozumi's going to stack it right on in there.
Yeah, Morozumi plays with no fear. I like that. Not that he has a choice in this particular shot, but still, I like the way he approaches the game, and certainly not. He's playing to win it. This looks really good.
And it settles right there on the top of the button. So we have some congestion right here in the forefoot. And this is one of those inflection points where Brad has to decide where he wants this end to go, and it's pretty clear he wants it open.
Yeah, no surprise with this call, really. It's he doesn't really want to fool around with that. Not only that, the last shot was so good that it would be very difficult, to maneuver that out anyways. It would take at least a couple of shots and probably a miss by the Morozumi team to even have a shot at getting that out.
So the straight peel executed. We're going to see probably a couple of these in a row.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because I think Morozumi has to like the setup that he's left right now.
Yeah, I think the angles on everything are pretty good for him.
This one needs to curl. Might be just a hair deeper than I like, and they didn't get up all the way. It's going to leave an angle. But still just a straight peel called for.
Yeah.
Jeff Walker peels that off just like a banana. Broom goes right back down for the guard.
I don't think you'll see Morozumi change this at all, really, in this end, unless Brad does something different in a couple of shots, because he's probably pretty happy with either team scoring 1 point.
Just for your eyes' sake, what do you think is shot right now?
Ooh, it's a little fuzzy. They're going to have to just tidy it up a little bit for me. I'll tell you in a minute. I think it's yellow.
Here comes Nichols with another peel. And there we go. So back and forth we go. This cat and mouse game continues. Here's Mark Nichols. They're looking to make a play on the rocks in the house now. Past the guards, they move everything around. They do knock that Morozumi rock out the side door.
That's a great shot. Yeah.
Oh, but I'm going to be the contrarian for a second, but is it? I think Morozumi can just lock on there now, and it's there.
Well, he can for sure, yeah, and it could be really hard to get out the next time.
I suspect if Morozumi gets a really good one, Brad would just like to give Morozumi the steal one here. That could be interesting choices coming up later, but got to make this one first.
Yeah, he's got to make a good shot here, because if he ever throws this a little heavy, bounces off or something, he's in big trouble. So it has to be perfect.
key shot here for the Japanese squad. They need to lock it right onto the pin. Needs to curl now. Here comes the finish. Hold it straight. Oh, you got to get past the top one. Yes, you do. Is the weight right? You're going to walk it right on down and lock it there. That is a great stone.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a terrific shot. It wouldn't have hurt them to go a little bit harder at the end there and get that right to the yellow one.
Oh, sure, that extra 1.5 inches would have definitely made a difference.
Yeah. Well, you'd get another 1.5 inches. You get about another probably inch of curl on it. Just make the shot's not very easy, but it can make it that much harder.
So they are going to take another pass at it. You can see it from the long shot, but you can't really see it from the hack. So
Yeah.
this is the shot that he's taking on faith. Casey's trying to push it past the guard. You got to slide just past it. Oh, when you're on the guard.
Yeah, there wasn't much room to work with there.
Ever so close for Brad Gushue there. Now they're going to have a conversation about this one, and I think it's a good time to have such a conversation.
Yeah, this is not an easy call either.
So you see the indication there for just a standard straight guard. If you could ever follow down the shot you just throw and make another good one, I don't see how that hurts you.
No, that would probably, if you put it in exactly the right spot, right on top of that, you'd probably lock yourself up a point, because I don't think that green one that's there now would go anywhere. Morozumi's not wavering from the idea of throwing the guard pretty much, so. Just trying to see if there's a way that Brad can get 2 off of that yellow one. I suspect he probably can, but so you got to be careful where you put this guard. You got to figure out what you're guarding. So, you know, if it overcurled a little bit more and left the same shot that Mark had a little bit more room, then he could double the greens out and maybe score 2 yellow. If the back one would stay, that would be the question, I guess, because you'd have to throw it fairly hard. So it looks like a guard, I think, anyways.
So the guard's going to be upcoming from Morozumi here. His last of the 7th end.
So it's not heavy, I don't think.
Yeah, they're on it pretty much right from the get-go. Weight looks to be okay now. Do you like the line? Gotta walk it over just a little bit, or you can't give him access to the yellow. Is that good enough?
Yeah, I think it does the trick. I think you could probably go by and hit the yellow on the green. You don't know if you get rid of all the greens and stay for 2 or not, but you're close. Might be the only way to get 2. That would work, but that'd be really could be quite risky, that green on green.
Yeah, if that goes bad, you're giving up more than 2.
Well, you could, yeah, that's the thing. I think you can score 1 by, you could probably hit enough of that yellow that the green that's on the button at least bounces out enough to give him a point. Mark, let's look and just see what's going on the other sheet.
And that goes back to the question: do you even want one?
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to play here. Like I say, it just doesn't really. Okay, now we're going to get something. It just seemed for a minute that I wasn't quite sure they were even going to take a run at this because the market just wasn't where I thought he'd have to be.
So it is going to be Gushue trying to make some hay here. Final stone of the 7th end. This knee is held straight. It's going to go right over. Oh, you knock it out. My goodness, and you make a deuce. What a fantastic shot. And Brad Gushue gets 2 in 7 to take a 2-point lead into the 8th end. What a thriller we have from Sault Ste. Marie. We'll be back after this.
Here at Red Arena, we are trying to help people through equine therapy. Working with the veterans has been a very amazing experience. Our little motto that we always say is empowerment through horses. I love what I do. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Welcome back here, the 8th end for the Henderson Metals Fall Classic, presented by Coyote Tractors of Ontario. Dave Schmel and Jim Nix, and 2,500 of you, our closest friends, joining us here today. And we just saw one pistol of a shot for Gushue to get his dues in end number 7.
Yeah, truly an incredible shot by Brad. I mean, it's a shot that I'm sure that Morozumi thought he had at least a steal or a give up one when he in his guard finish, and who could blame him, really? It just seemed like an almost impossible thought to even take a run at that shot, and Brad did it and made it perfect. And you just nothing more to say about it. It was just, even for most people, that was a 1 in 1,000 shot, and more power to Brad for throwing that shot. Things could have went bad, but they didn't. So great shot.
Morozumi got to find a way to dig deep and come after that, because, man, you can't help to think that's just a touch deflating, Jim.
Yeah, it has to be a little bit. I mean, for sure, it's not. Like I said, when his rock came to rest, I'm sure he had a one score for somebody, and that would have been perfect for what he wanted. Either way, it would have been okay. And to end up and giving up a 2. You go from where you have a chance to win in the last end to really trying to get a deuce, and you still have a chance to win in the last end, but now you're trying to get to an extra end, probably more so than win in this end, and that's not nearly as good, But
and this Gushue rink is no stranger to extra ends, and
no
extra ends last night.
Well, exactly, yeah. But you can't do anything about it now, so you got to go, like you say, you got to go after it and try to get your deuce, and they certainly seem to know how to manufacture some points, so see how he gets along.
Oh, they certainly do. It was a great series of shots by the Morozumi rig to set that up, and it wasn't like Gushue's team was missing things either. It was just excellent shot making on both sides.
Yeah.
So Morozumi is looking at these two stones here. He's going to let it draw underneath one of his corners. That stone's on the way. And settles in under cover. In a pretty darn good spot, so Brad's going to rip a guard here.
Yeah, you don't want to start. He could go around and pick it out, but Morozumi makes it better, and you just don't want to get into anything too adventurous here in this end.
So that peel was made without a problem. And how do you work from here?
Well, that's a good question, because now you're playing to kind of just move that yellow one and roll behind the corner, but you're not going to be on the rings in a minute, so you're probably not going to sit two after the shot. In which case you say, well, Brad could just go over and rip the green one take it out of play, the one that's in the house, and he may do that.
I mean, you didn't even really get a favorable roll there.
No, that didn't work out too good.
So Brad's looking at the obvious choice, just remove a green, or just come on in and say that green stone will never count.
Yeah, I think you've got to get rid of it. I don't, again, I haven't disagreed with much of the Morozumi Rankin's call, but that one I'm not so sure. I don't know for sure what would have been better, but I don't think that leaving that one sitting there wide open for him to remove it was a great plan. You already have the corner guard to work with. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Especially because you're already down to third stone, so you only have 4 more to go.
Yeah, and you have to make 2 of them count by the time you're all said and done.
Yeah.
So now timeout's been called. And taking a look here, he sees a bevy of Yellowstones now. Thought I would have, Jim, is to try to start coming in behind them some, even if you're all the way in the back of the rings, and try to save some of them might count later.
Yeah, I think you got to be really careful throwing any kinds of takeouts here, because you got to get rocks somewhere where they're not going to be able to remove them easily. And I know they got to be closer than Brad's stones, but still, looks like you're going to play a little hit and roll here, but does need to get the one probably off the top of the 4-foot a little bit. Just, I don't know.
So it does look like the hit's on the way here. over curling. You're probably going to end up on your own in a second unless you get by it. Yes, you do. But
Not
I don't think that helped you. Yeah, I don't think that helped you too much.
No, I know. That's the problem. It's just, you threw pretty firm weight, so you wouldn't want to throw it any harder, and can't afford to roll out. So I don't know that really did you any good at all. To be honest, you could have gone around that one even, and would have been just as well as where it is now. So it'd be tough getting 2.
So here's Nichols.
Mark would probably
just
like
working
to sit right there.
Yeah. Not going to miss this too often, and you're just working a math problem right now.
Yeah.
They lie 1, 2, 3.
He'll play the cross house double or almost double to make the hair. He doesn't really have to get rid of the yellow one if he can. This is a little bit flat. He's gonna have to throw this really hard, but if you can get it going the right way and actually nose hit the yellow one, you'd be behind the guard, which would be good. That's good.
This is going to have to curl to do that. Right now it's dead on the nose. Hits and it only rolls a fraction. So now Gushue is going to remove this, and Morozumi's going to be looking at having to score 2 rocks.
Yeah, that was a pretty adventurous shot. That was going to be really difficult to do, and I don't know, I might have done something with that high green one. Maybe just try to tap that behind the corner and open up the one in the top of the button, top of the forefoot rather. That might have been a better option.
Yeah, Jim, I feel like that shot had to be thrown the rock prior.
Yeah. Yeah, you're down to your third last stone. I don't think you really want to be throwing that kind of a shot.
And Team Gushue calls timeout.
Yeah.
Squad will come down, and this is just, I'm assuming you're just doing this here to make sure you're not missing anything.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, at first glance, it's a simple call. You just eliminate, you get rid of that green. Maybe try to flop in towards the center somewhere, make things a little bit more complicated than they already are, even for Morozumi. But
as we work through this timeout and they work it out. Let's see if I can't get you the rest of our scores here. You can always check the scores on curlingzone.com, as well as all the links to all the sheets of every game in this event. Great event this weekend, so make sure you stay with us. We're going to have the action tomorrow as well. Brad Gushue coming in and for his first of 2. It was Epping 7-5 lead in the 8th over Jacobs. Howard 6-3 over Retornaz, and Carruthers 7-4 over Klima. Right now, all our games are in the 8th end. And here's Gushue with his first. He's going to hit it. He's going to sit right there. So you saw the Gushue rink, and you're going to have a timeout here by Morozumi's squad. You saw the Gushue rink. Take a look at that center guard acting like it could be run in and used. Do you think that's the best option, Jim?
yeah, I do. Yeah, I think he's got to do something with that now. He doesn't necessarily have to throw it, with the weight to remove everything. It needs to make sure it stays somewhere. So I think even just hits it and rolls off behind either of the yellows would be good. I don't really see much else. He could, I guess, in theory, he could come around the corner guard and leave that yellow one for the next shot if he gets a chance at it, but he may not get a chance at it. So I'm thinking pretty hard about moving the green. I don't really see much else that's going to benefit you. Be interesting to see what they decide on.
Getting the guidance here from the coach. I kind of like tapping that green up onto the yellow, and maybe you can scoot it behind your own corner there. That's my thought. So you stand a good chance of at least leaving your shooter in play as well, so you'll have the rock you're throwing and another one to use.
Yeah. I think either one of those shots is okay. I'm even okay with the draw around the corner, but you may not get a chance to use it, is the only thing. It's, because even if Brad doesn't go after it, which he probably would, but if he doesn't go after it and decides to just tap another yellow up, it would have to be perfect for you to be able to have a chance to remove both. So
none of these options are going to be ideal, for sure.
no, they haven't really developed this end the way that they would have liked to develop it, for sure. Getting to at this point is, you should be able to come pretty close to having something a little easier than this, to be honest, with two corner guards up and all that. I didn't, when he chose to play that a little bit odd shot to me and leave his in the house, I didn't really get that one. I think that he needed to get another rock in the house and then work it from there. It's not over yet. Really good chance of making something good here. I think he's just drawing around the corner.
So the first shot of the eighth end away for the Japanese skip. Morozumi gonna need to get this rock in someplace where it can stay around and count later. Drawing underneath the corner guard, and it is in the house, so that much is done.
Yeah, good shot. It's you're gonna need a little luck here somewhere. So for Morozumi now, he needs Gushue to tap this in a position where he can make a run back W with his green one. Probably, because he probably won't get a chance to do it any other way. Brad probably will move that yellow one far enough that he'd never be able to come off that. I think he'll at least probably have a shot. It just might be a little tougher than your average bear, as they say.
Well, he's hoping he's smarter than the average bear.
That was pretty good, Dave.
No problem, boo-boo. So Brad Gushue here with his final stone of end number 8. He's looking to tap one up to line 2 and make it really, really tough on Morozumi here. This one needs some weight if he's going to get the desired outcome. Okay, well, I think there's a way here, buddy.
Yeah.
And there it is. They just showed it to you.
Yeah, not a real easy double, but easier than I thought he would have, to be honest, after that shot. I thought Brad just pulled the string a little bit on it. I think he wanted a little more on it than that. Because if he moves the yellow one back to, to where what's that, care or ink or something on that side, then it's really tough for Morozumi to have a chance to make the 2. Probably be only fitting though if we had an extra end, anyways.
I think we seem to be good at that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, not that we really have a lot to do with it, but still, we'll take credit for bringing the ball to coverage.
Absolutely. So Yusuke Morozumi, he's a double takeout and stick to force the extra here at the Henderson Metal Fall Classic, brought to you by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. Final stone of the 8th end is on the way. On it, right out of his hand, working the line. This looks really close. Got to get to the first one. On to the second one. Do you stay there? Oh, yes, you do. There's 2. And we are going to an extra end here in Sault Ste. Marie. All tied up after 8. We'll be back right after this.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Welcome back to Sault Ste. Marie and the Henderson Metal Fall Classic, brought to you by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. We are all tied up after 8 ends of play. Brad Gushue and Yusuke Morozumi, and it was a fabulous shot by Morozumi to force that extra, Jim.
Yeah, tremendous shot. I was watching that pretty closely, and you know, I'm so impressed with his team and so impressed with Morozumi throwing himself. It was just, you know, that's a shot that nerves could get you a little bit, and he was rock solid, came out perfect, let it go perfect, and they just managed the shot all the way down the sheet, and, you know, just to make the 2, and a great deuce.
Absolutely. I'm Dave Schmel. This is Jim Nix with me, and we are joined by 2,832 of you right now, 54 now. Thank you so much for joining us and taking your time to spend with us here on Curling Stadium. You can always get all the action from every spiel pretty much anywhere in the world. If we can bring it to you, we will. So we got those 2 guards up, and Gushue has 1 in the house, and he has the hammer here in the extra. So Brad playing the second one right into the rings.
Yeah, he'll do this because in the next shot he'll be starting to peel everything, and you know, he could play the split on the high one because it's not biting the center line, so you could tick it, play the tick shot, but sometimes you just that just ends up putting rocks in the way for you if you have to draw the 4-foot or something for the win. So it's so he's chosen not to try to do that.
So without Hammer here in the extra, Morozumi's squad trying to set the steal, and they are going to bring one a little closer in here and get up close and personal with those Gushue stones and give them a little something to think about. Now, Jim, are you looking for the double peel here, or are you okay with just a straight peel?
I think they're just looking for the single peel here. They will
Jeff
look
Walker.
for the double peel a little later probably, but not just yet, sorry.
Walker with the rock on the way. Goes away without a problem. That's the real Jeff Walker. Those of you just joining us, we're joking about that because Adam Casey, their alternate, is throwing the lead stones, and he's been wearing a Jeff Walker jacket all weekend.
And he's worked very, very hard. Jeff will be not in a big hurry to get that shirt back, I don't think.
It needs to take a turn through the wash for sure.
Yes, yeah. They got that one over, but it was a little touchy for a little while coming down there.
But really good for them having that maximum distance because, you know, there really isn't a good double peel here.
No, I think they might take a little bit of a run at this one, but
Walker on the peel attempt. Casey trying to work it over. And it's just a single peel. And right back up, says Morozumi. We're going to see a little bit of that before we make a little bit more aggressive move here. Pretty good spot. I'd argue maybe even just a touch better than the last one.
yeah, I think it is. I think that's perfect. I think it's, you know, like you say, it's certainly got maximum, almost maximum distance between those two, and they're almost straight lined up, so it'll be a challenging double to make, so I'm probably not even going to try, just give it to the high one.
Yeah, because the worst thing you want to do is leave a guard. Now it looks like Morozumi's going to think about coming in, and I do believe they've called their timeout. Each team gets a fresh allotment of time and a timeout in the extra end. So time won't be a factor for either of these squads. And do you like playing in now?
I'm not sure that I do, actually. I think it's, you're still on your third. Third's got one more rock. I'm thinking I might still go out high on one more shot, but he's going to come in, so I'm just thinking if you put it in there, and it might be that Brad runs the guard into it, and you might have shot for a couple of minutes after that's done, but I think it's going to be an easier job for him to take rid of yours. So I think I'd go one more guard.
And the stone on the way from Matsumura. This is going to come down. Needs to curl up just a few more inches to be good. gets pretty much dead on nose. So the shot called for it accomplished in a really good spot.
Yeah, good throw.
So now it's time for Brad to take a look at this here and make sure that the situation is okay.
Yeah.
Rather demonstrative swipe there by Nichols.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a very interesting. I don't know if I ever saw Mark look that emotional or whatever you call it on a shot. He's just like, yeah, we'll give it a big swoop. He's gonna try to rip everything out of there, I think is what that's supposed to mean.
Well, that has the way to do it. They're on it right out of his hand. Jeff Walker trying to hold it out there. 1, 2, and you move it, and it rolls that Morozumi rock out to the side, but most importantly, out from multiple covers. So a lot of granite moved right there. Let's take another look.
Yeah, you can see Mark's going to throw this very hard. It's hard to believe that both the greens would actually go here, but hits it in just the right spot, hits it thin with lively rocks and quick ice. It's a very makeable shot. He doesn't get rid of that green one, but he puts it to where he needed to get it, and that's really all he was looking to do. The odds of Morozumi scoring now, I think, are much less than they were just a minute ago. It's, we know that Brad's can easily draw the button, so you're going to have to be very good on this. Looks like they're going to have their timeout now. We thought they took it a while ago. I guess they were just chatting before, so they're going to have a little chat about it now.
Would he consider a long guard here?
Yeah, I think you'd consider it, but I think he's going to probably come around. I actually don't mind the long guard. It's because the problem is if you don't put it perfect and he ever doubles both of them off, you don't get a shot at this, and you really want to have a shot at getting one in. So I think you'll see him play that come around here. If you could line the long one up, that would be a good shot too.
Yeah, we're coming up on skip rocks here in the extra end. It's tied up at 6. Yusuke Morozumi against Brad Gushue. Thanks to everyone who's just joined us from the other games. Dave Schmel and Jim Nix here with you. And it's been a dandy of a game. And Morozumi trying to find a manufacture a steal of one here to keep his hopes alive here. And he is going to come under after the discussion and the timeout. So after all these stones back and forth, it's going to come down to these last 4. Most likely.
Yeah, it's he's got Morozumi's got one to work with, so that's a good thing. The chances are pretty good Brad will be running one back into that, but if you got to put this in a really good spot because you might be the one that you're counting on winning with, so get behind that guard, bite as much of the button as you can get, and stay buried.
So Morozumi with the delivery here coming from the intern side. Wants to get under cover. Needs to get there for the weight too. This is not particularly heavy. A good scrub by the boys to drag it in, and they're going to get right on up to about the middle of the 8-foot. Probably not as deep as you want it to be, Jim.
No, perfect line, absolutely perfect line. You just needed another foot, maybe 16 inches or so, just to get it that much closer to the button. That would be where I think I would prefer it to be. But
now, there is a triple available, but the triple is going to leave a guard.
Yeah, I think he'll try to take this over the top of the the rock by Mark's right-hand side, well, left-hand side, we look this way, but on the overhead right-hand side. So I think he'll try to take it on the outside of that. So his shooter goes away and they both go away.
Gushue with his first stone in the extra. On the one and jams onto the second one and leaves his shooter about 18 inches off the center line. So, for all the marbles, where do you put it?
Yeah, that was not a good result for Brad at all. I think you're coming around that one or you're bumping it up, one of the two.
So if you come around it, you want to come right to basically the button, right?
Yeah. Even if you don't totally bury this, it's it might be okay.
A couple different options for sure, but it looks like they're gonna elect to come just right up to the top of the button and make that scoring area extremely difficult for Brad Gushue.
Yeah, they've thrown so many really nice draws and come arounds that this shot makes perfect sense. Really, it's if you decide to play a tap, you got to get two things right. You got to get the line weight, all combinations together, and this one's really about, you still have to get line and weight right, but it's a little different in that you don't have to worry about where you're going to make contact with another stone. So I think this is the right call.
So a deep breath from Morozumi, and here he delivers his final of the extra. He's got to make it tough on Gushue. He just threw this draw, needs to get it to go on the same line about 18 inches further. It will be perfect.
Might be a little heavy.
Not laying much of a sweep on it now. Nichols is going to try to escort it back, and it's going to be on the back four, and he just gave him a catcher there. Timeout is called by Team Gushue.
Yeah, so close to being perfect again. Basically take those two rocks and add 14 inches to the first one, take 14 inches off of this one. They're both perfect, but he has left backing. It's not a lot of backing, and it's not a real easy shot, but it's just really just a draw to the 4 foot if you think about it that way, and you don't have to worry about anything else, and then you know it's going to curl for you. So I would expect Brad to be very close to making this or make it.
So Brad Gushue sells in on the intern. His final shot of the extra end. Needing to grab full 4 foot. On it, right out of his hand. Now we're off. And scored it down. Keep it clean. Back and forth, off and on. Needs to curl just a touch now, Casey, to put the last licks on it. Work it over. Got to get it over a little bit further than that. And you do, and that will be good for the win. A beautiful draw for the victory for Brad Gushue, and he will win 7-6 over Yusuke Morozumi.
Yeah, another really good end. Just a great game overall, and can't help but be impressed with this Japanese squad. I think they're gonna beat a lot of people this year. So it's and Brad did what Brad does, and that's make the last shot. No matter how difficult it is, he seems to be always going to make that shot. So good job for the Gushue rink. They survive another tight one and make it through to tomorrow.
That was another fabulous game, and we want to thank you for joining us, and especially thank our sponsors of this spiel. It's the Henderson Metal Fall Classic presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. From Sault Ste.Marie, for Jim Nix, I'm Dave Schmel. Thank you so much for watching. Have a pleasant day.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. when I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.